So, I was reading Essence this month, and there was an article on President Obama's report card. As we know, people are very, very upset with him. They don't think he did a good enough job. He sucks. He's made it worse. He didn't fix what he said he was gonna fix. Boo-hoo, boo, boo, hoo, hoo. Anyway, that's not my concern. One of the main topics was about Black America and whether or not he's done enough for Black America. Now, personally, I think this is just a topic because he himself happens to be Black. But personally, I'm a little offended by the whole idea that Obama should specifically dole out money for Black Americans because we're in such a bad state. And we are. We're in a bad state. Fortunately for me, most of the people that I have come into contact with, the majority, are good people. They produce. They're productive people. They're concerned. They're aware. You know, they read. But I have come into contact with some deadbeats, some fathers that think they're awesome, but they don't have a job. They just got out of jail. They've gone back to the things that put them in jail in the first place. Their kids don't have a college fund or a winter coat or winter boots, or they don't talk to their kids about sex and drugs and any of that stuff. But they think they're the best father in the whole wide world. Or you have your mothers who date some guy and he's great. Almost. He's so great that you put him in front of your children. He's so great that you let him tell you what to do with your children. He's the biological father and you let him tell you what to do with the children. And he doesn't act like the child's best interest is at heart. That being said, they debated about the state of Black America and whether or not Obama had implemented things to do with Black Americans and the state of unemployment. I'm going to say this and then I'm going to sign off because you know I said my vlogs are way too long. The bottom line is this. We were freed. It was legalized for us to read. We got the right to vote. And we were allowed the beauty of having Martin Luther King and leaders of Malcolm X and so on and so forth. The fact that we haven't done what we could do with those things is nobody's fault but our own. The fact that our unemployment rate is doubled what the national unemployment rate is nobody's fault but our own. And I'm not trying to say that there's no racism. There's plenty of racism to go around. But the bottom line is racism isn't going anywhere. It's one of those things that is part of life. It's kind of like when a kid is born without a hand. That little nigga was born without a hand. Ain't nothing you can do about that. He just has to make do with the fact that he was born without a hand. Whether that means getting prosthesis or learning to do things without the hand, he makes do. And there are plenty of things in this country where, yeah, you have to work twice as hard and triple as hard as somebody white, your counterpart, but you can still make it. And you can do extraordinary things in this country. It's nobody's excuse. There's no excuse for anybody that they can't make it. You know, and the bottom line is, The fact that our young men drop out at 50% is our fault. The fact that our young girls are having children and don't know how to parent them is our fault. It's not white people's fault. The fact that we are raising a generation that knows nothing about their history is our fault. The fact that we are raising a generation that thinks that voting is not important is our fault. The fact that we are raising a generation that thinks that it's okay to get on stage and be the new hip-hop Steppin' Fetch It is our fault. And for those who don't know who Steppin' Fetch It is, spelled S-T-E-P-I-N, Steppin' Fetch It, F-E-T-C-H-I-N. Google it, baby. And then you'll know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Lil Wayne. I like his music, but he's the modern day Steppin' Fetch It, along with a whole lot of people. Waka Flocka Flame, who thinks education good, yeah, voting good. I mean, you know, best thing that ever happened to me was I dropped out of high school, but education good. Listen, the fact that somebody like that gets on national TV and is in front of an audience of all our young black children and is representing us is not white people's fault, and it's not Obama's fault. That's our fault. So black people, my people, let's get our shit together and stop blaming other people and looking to Obama because he's black. Because if he was a white man, we wouldn't even be asking him. Surgeon General's warning, deuces! I'm signing off. Jackass on deck.